sponsored by Cratejoy, which is an amazing online subscription box marketplace. Basically, whatever hobby you have, they have a subscription box for it. I'm not kidding. I dare you to try to find something that they don't have that you're interested in. All of that information will be linked down below for your pleasure to discover more. But on to today's episode. Today we're going to be talking about something very near and dear to my heart, and that is throwback books.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
The reason we got into reading.
Exactly.
Yes.
What got you into reading? Your favorite childhood books, your favorite high school books. Let's go. Let's begin. Throw it over to JD. Tell me more.
Okay. Well, when I was a kid, the first book I fell in love with was Huckleberry Finn.
Oh, yes. It's an amazing book.
That was actually one of the first books in English that I ever read.
Wow.
And then after that, I discovered a little series called The Lord of the Rings. And that was when I was like, okay, I might want to do this.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's still dear to me because it helped me shape my perspective of how fantasy can be so relatable and connect people to so many issues that are so relevant.
Right.
Then again, my other all-time favorite author was Michael Crichton. With
Suspense.
Exactly, and of course the classic Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I was a dinosaur kid.
If you weren't a dinosaur kid, were you even a kid?
Exactly.
That's a legitimate question.
Like I love the fossils and everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, but when I read Jurassic Park, it's a lot more intense than what we see on screen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
I love that. When you actually get anxiety from reading a book, you're just
exactly.
like, yeah.
So, needless to say, Harry Potter.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
You know.
Me too. My dad used to read them to me when I was a kid.
Those are the ones that are dear to my heart, that inspired me on my own writing journey. You know, they just taught me so much. So that's something that I hold dear to me. And how about you?
For mine, I was a big series of unfortunate events girl. I loved all of them. I loved finding the clues and stuff like that. And I've always been like a dark person, like dark humor. I'm so like vampire. Like I've been drawn to like dark themes and stuff like that. Like I love Coraline. Like I love the Demon Guy. When it came to like books, I loved series of unfortunate events, and I also loved the Treehouse, Magic Treehouse.
Oh, those were great.
I loved those books, as well as when I was really little, I used to read the little golden books. Like
Oh yeah.
Those are so cute.
Yeah.
I love the pictures and the illustrations, and I loved drawing on them.
On them, in them, around them.
In them, around them.
We've all
They're
been there.
full of colorful things.
Yep.
But going into my middle school years is when I started to like legit start getting like into reading and all the girthy stuff. And I started with romance, so that's where the Sarah Dessen came in, and all those books. And then I went into fantasy, and that's where I got a little messed up.
Exactly, we all did.
No, yeah, literally, I think it was freshman year, and I was telling Taryn this. There was one night, I had read until my morning alarm, and I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
Like my 6 a.m. alarm came, and I was still reading. It was The Hunger
That's so
Games.
good.
Yeah, and I was like, I gotta know what happens next. And my alarm went off, and I was like, I didn't sleep. So, what about you?
Yeah.
I would say, I feel like I've been reading for as long as I can remember, which is great. Obviously Harry Potter is foundational. I just feel like that's like the case for so many people.
Yeah.
But a book series I remember being, I think I was like 8 or 9, and I was so into was the Chronicles of Narnia.
Oh,
I
yes.
love that series.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I have an unpopular opinion. My favorite one was actually the first one, which I actually feel like is very telling to my reading taste in the future.
And
So
it's not The Witch in the Wardrobe.
no, that's the second one. I do love that one.
Yeah.
The first one is the first magician, or like the last magician. Yeah, the magician's nephew, and it's all about like magic, and it's setting up this world, and it has a lot of teaching and learning about magic. And like reflecting on that is like my reading taste hasn't changed. Like I love reading about magic schools every day, all day. Harry Potter, Name of the Wind.
You like the backstory, and you like
the history,
the
context.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like,
and I love the analogy.
Exactly.
The analogies that you get from that, I love that stuff.
Exactly, but yeah, that was definitely a foundational series for me. But kind of like jumping forward a bit, I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about high school reads. I feel like, you know, going through high school, we're forced to read these books, but I always thought in the moment, but especially thinking back, like they were actually really important.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some of my favorites were like Tale of Two Cities, for example.
Yes,
I thought was amazing.
That one. I read The Giver.
The Giver was great.
I read it during school. I hated it, and then I went back and actually reread it because of the movie that came out. And I was like, I missed some parts. I loved it.
That's one of my favorite series.
Same with Life of Pi, because I love that one as well.
So like The Tale of Two Cities, for example, is such a great story. I love history as well, so it's really awesome to be able to contextualize historical events that we learn about in history class, dates, names, like big events, big battles, but then we also have this literary product that came out of the time period as well to speak to and contextualize historical elements that are going on. A personal experience or perspective that deeply reflects its time period. It's so interesting.
And I think even though you're going through high school, you're going through that period of so many transitions and things.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of imperative to find these stories. I mean, in high school, I kind of fell away from all that. I think that's one of my biggest regrets, because it was like I kind of lost interest. It wasn't, to some people, it's like, that's no longer the thing. The things that you learn with those stories, they stay with you forever.
Yeah.
And I think that's the important thing with the classics and what you read in high school.
When you talk about like the classic that stayed with you forever, the one that I can recall that I was forced to read was the Poisonwood Bible. I don't know if any of you all had to read it.
Yeah, it's a great book.
It's a great book. Like the analogies in there and the metaphors just like twist with your mind. It's so like inspirational on the journey that they go through. I'm not gonna ruin anything. Everyone should go check it out. Because like I was forced to read it, but like that was the one book that while I was reading it, I actually enjoyed reading it. Like I was excited to read the chapters.
Pick it up. Just going off what you're saying, the book that stuck with me, I think, the most from high school, I read it my senior year, and it was J.R.R. And literally, like, probably my favorite book of all time, but reading that, like, while I'm on this kind of precipice of transition, having so much uncertainty, and being just confused about where and how I'm supposed to be in the world, and then J.R.R. is such a beautiful story. It has so many amazing quotes. I could just talk to days about those quotes of that book.
Well, what I love about that book is just like it formalizes and brings to light like how loving people is different in all aspects.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I love about movies is that and like books as well as they explain and they let the reader and audience know that it's okay to feel and like learn and like act in this way.
Yes.
And that's why I think it's important to always keep these stories alive during that time.
Right.
Just because you need to, like you said, it's okay to go through that. It's okay to live that way and to keep those lessons with you.
It's also interesting to see, I mean, if you're looking at historical novels, thematically and emotionally, humans still go through so many of those things.
The same situation.
I mean, pain, loss, fear, uncertainty.
To relate.
Exactly. Like that was happening in the 1600s. Like, don't worry. Like, you're not alone.
Yeah, and that's why like all these books that we've read when we were children and stuff have like resonated with us. I mean, because we do have books that like didn't make an impact on us.
Right.
Like that I read and I was like, this is gonna be controversial, but like the Divergent series, like I honestly that didn't impact me in any sort of way. And I read it in high school, but like as like Hunger Games and all of those sort of series, those are the ones that like push me forward. You know.
I think it's just interesting to also see the impact that they have on chiseling our
lives.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like you can remember what you were doing
exactly.
and who you were when you were reading this book. And it almost makes you nostalgic when you pick that book up again. You're like, I'm a different person, I'm getting different experiences from this reread, but I'll always remember who I was when I read it the first time.
And it's so amazing.
Yeah, so
you have like those memories, like recollections.
But this is just a bunch of
chat.
Yeah.
Hey there, my name is Kaitlyn from the channel Big Screen Books, and for today's chit chat, I want to talk about some throwback books. So when I think of throwback books, I think of books that I really loved growing up. Some of my favorite books that I read in elementary school that was really important to me and just kind of made me into the reader I am today, and that would be the Alex Rider series and the Percy Jackson series. The Alex Rider series is an awesome book by Anthony Horowitz. It's quite a long series, but one that I loved in elementary school. It's about a 14-year-old boy named Alex Rider who is recruited to be like a British spy, and he goes on these awesome and crazy adventures, and he was just like, to me, he was like a real-life superhero. Like, absolutely loved him. And then, of course, the Percy Jackson series kind of speaks for itself. They're an incredible series about Greek mythology. It was really nice when I read them because I was about the same age as Percy as I was reading it, so that was really special, and I really connected to them. Some other throwback books, like classic books that I really love. To Kill a Mockingbird is one of my favorite classic books, and I actually would say anything by Edgar Allan Poe. I'm a big, like, thriller fan. I love his kind of scary, creepy poetry. There was always very fun to read in school and definitely quite the throwback. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Camera rolling. There we go.
Hi.